What's going on, High Society? Welcome back, Socialites, to our first Tier List Tuesday. And we got a special one for those who follow the Society, follow our Draft League battle videos. We're going into Week 3 of Season 3, Sordward and Shielbert, Spectacular Skirmish Society, the 5S, the Society. And Week 3 of every season means free agency and trades can start. So, of course, that means there are a lot of Pokemon still available on the free agent market, and we're going to take a look at every single one, and we're going to break it down by must-have. Why is this not on someone's team already? A second look, some Pokemon that teams should see if it's got a slot on their team or, give it a chance. Not bad, you're kind of like, the maybe, which is a little less than I guess not bad and maybe. I mean, that's going to be my personal choice. So it's kind of in the middle. Very situational. So these will be Pokemon like, okay, you would bring this against this particular team, or if this Pokemon is going to give you trouble, you want to pick this up that week. And then nothing. Stay where you are. Stay far away from me. Coronavirus, 6 feet, and then push it back. All right, so we're going to start right at the top. We're going to go in order of the tier list. So the G-Max is all the way down to the bottom of the barrel C tiers. We're going to start off with the big man, G-Max Lapras. This is a must-have. It's a G-Max Plus, which means it's one of the better G-Maxes. Its signature ability, G-Max Resonance, creates Aurora Veil, so you get Light Screen and Reflect both up while doing massive damage. You put a weakness policy on this, you're going to survive a hit, you're going to do huge damage, and you're going to start killing things due to the natural bulk it has from behind these screens. And the way to get rid of screens is usually through Brick Break or some sort of defog or something. You know what Brick Break does? Triggers your weakness policy, which means you just do another resonance and then you kill that and you're fine. Defog, it's going to be on flying types, which means you hit it with a resonance, which is an ice type move, and you kill the flying types. And then you got like Galarian, Mr. Rhyme over there who has Screen Cleaner, but that's one team can have him. So this should be snatched up quick, and I'm surprised it wasn't drafted to begin with. There are some G-Max pluses that just aren't at this caliber. Another G-Max plus that we have is Toxtricity. I'm going to put this in the not bad. Very offensive, but 4 times weak to ground means that any decent ground attack is going to destroy this guy. So I think he's fine if you're looking to upgrade a G-Max from like maybe a minus to a plus. But I wouldn't be sacrificing a G-Max plus for him. I think he's definitely on the lower of that. And I'm going to put G-Max Duraludon in the same category. His G-Max move, G-Max Depletion, is worse than Wormwind. Our battles don't go very long. We try to dissuade stalling, all to the Reno Weezing's chagrin there. So you can't really PP stall people out. And Duraludon isn't naturally bulky enough to really take advantage of being on like a stally team. Going to our G-Max minuses, we have Hatterene. I think Hatterene's pretty good as a G-Max. It can set up Trick Room on its own and then be able to get a few hits off with its G-Max if you want to use like a Focus Sash or a Resist Berry if you know the type of matchup that you're going into. And it hits really hard when it does get its G-Max on. It can set up Psychic Terrain, it can create confusion with its G-Max moves, so I think it's alright. I used it in doubles. I think it is way better in doubles, but I think that it's better than most of the G-Max minuses, some of which are on certain teams. So I think people could upgrade their G-Max minus with Hatterene. Pikachu, I'm going to put in the no thanks. Same thing with Meow. Pikachu is pretty decent in doubles because any Lightning Rod user is pretty decent on certain teams, but in Singles, it's not as good redirecting moves. And then Meowth, of course, is Meowth, and he doesn't do anything for singles. Kingler, same thing. I think in doubles he's alright because you get the harsh speed drop on 2 targets, and you can do stuff like follow me, fake out, like really get that speed advantage. But in singles, he's too slow by himself. And in Dynamax, you can't use something like a Choice Scarf, and you really want to do like speed boosting agility baton passes and tailwinds and stuff just so that your Gmax Kingler can make you then faster. Like, no. Eevee, same thing, no thanks. Garbodor, no thanks. Kind of all these Gmax minuses. So it's hard to tell the difference between these two, but we have Flapple, who I think is worth a second look. Second look. As a Gmax minus, you're not giving up a lot picking them up. And the Hustle ability, which boosts your power at the cost of 20% accuracy, you don't get the accuracy nerf when you're Dynamaxed. So you get 3 straight turns. You throw a Life Orb on this boy, or girl, whatever gender you want to make your Gmax Flapple, and he's going to hit hard for 3 straight turns. And it's going to have grass coverage, it's going to have dark coverage, it's going to have dragon coverage, it's going to have some good moves. So I think, again, this is probably the best Gmax minus people could look at, but I think it's definitely worth a second look. Appleton, on the other hand, is a no thanks for me. Saw it do well in Season 1, made it to the semifinals, but I think it's just too slow. One decent Ice-type attack can take it down in its Gmax form, so not a big fan of Gmax Appleton there. Scorch, I'm going to put him in a maybe. You throw heavy-duty boots on him, he won't get hit by the Stealth Rock, so you can kind of pivot him around. Decent bulk in and out of his Gmax form, and his Fire Spin ability that he gets from Gigantamaxing allows him to trap certain Pokemon. So, like, it's not as bad as No Thanks, and it is Gmax, so I'm going to put it in the maybe. I don't think it's as good as Harry, and definitely not as good as Flapple, but for Gmax minus, you could do worse. Same thing with Sandaconda. Half decent Sand Setter due to Sand Spit. Recurring Sand, right? That's the difference between Sand Spit and Sandstream. Sandstream, you throw it out there. If someone throws a Drought or a Drizzle or a Snow Warning guy, then your Sand is done. You got to swap it out. But if you can put Bulk, which is what Gmax does, doubles your HP, gives you that bulk, gives you that boosted attack for 3 turns, you keep getting hit and you'll keep overriding that Sand. So it's a lot harder for them to take care of your weather easily. So certain teams with like Excadrill, Sand Rush, or even that'd probably be it, right? Just like Excadrill, maybe like Sand Slash if you're looking for like something in the low C tiers. But or certain rock types that don't get Sandstream themselves that you want some extra special defense bolt, maybe throw like an Assault Vest on something. That could work. I think it's okay. Inteleon I'm gonna put in the not bad. Actually, I'm gonna put him in the second look. His speed tier is at a different level compared to these other Gmaxes that are left. So if you're looking for something fast that can hit hard, remember its Gmax Snipe Shot is like 150 base power, 160 base power, so it hits really hard, gets the Mold Breaker ability on that attack, so it'll ignore Storm Drain, it'll ignore Water Absorb. I think it's worth a second look for teams looking for either speed or a strong water type, water being one of the best types around, like only 2 weaknesses and a bunch of resistances. So I think Inteleon is worth a second look, especially as a Gmax minus. It's very good. All right, now we're going to the S tiers. We have Chancy. I mean, it's an S tier, right? So you gotta think it's decent. But again, in our league, I'm not really liking it. you can do like minimize shenanigans, but in any league that has Dynamax, you know there's going to be 3 turns where minimize doesn't matter. So it's pretty hard to play around. Kyurem I'm going to put in the not bad. I think Dragon and Ice are both very good offensive typings. So if you're looking for something offensive, definitely Kyurem's good. Freeze Dry, Ice Beam, Draco Meteor, Earth Power. You know, you get a lot of coverage there. So I think it's pretty good. Cinderace, this is regular Cinderace, so in our league it does have access to Libero. This is a must-have. Somebody's got to pick this for their S tier, right? It's whatever move it can learn, it is the best Pokemon of that type because it can change its type based on whatever move. Usually you do Pyro Ball, Iron Head, Sucker Punch, and High Jump Kick, right? Those are your standard 4. Of course, if you want to be more supported, you can do Court Change, kind of flip around the hazards, flip around the screens, flip around the stat boost, so that's interesting too. Mimikyu, also an S tier. I think it's worth a second look. I wouldn't say it's a must-have, because Mimikyu overall is pretty weak. Like, you need that Sword Dance up to make Mimikyu any sort of like a threat, and even then, it's not crazy. So, based on that, I think it's only worth a second look. Like, you gotta look at your S tier and be like, oh, do I need a Ghost type? Do I need a Fairy type? Is the matchups that I plan on having favorable for Mimikyu? Am I going to be able to get like a Sword Dance, maybe even 2 up, you know? Keldeo.
Porygon.
Specs Keldeo is strong, but being that it's a water type, I'm going to put in the second look. Fighting and water. Interesting typing. Basically doesn't have an ability in Justified, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, it'll still hit hard. So again, it's got the water typing, which is always nice. Jirachi, I'm also going to put in second look. Again, these are all S tier, so they're all good Pokemon, right? Serene Grace, Iron Head, Zen Headbutt. You know, you're looking for those flinches, so any matchup where you can get like a Jolly Jirachi and outspeed your opponent, like, or you could go Adamant and like throw a Choice Scarf, give it some extra bulk or something, I think that's worth it. Gothitelle, Shadow Tag Trapping. I'm going to put it in the not bad. I think it's a lot harder to use than Doug Trio is as far as a Trapper goes. It just doesn't get like the move coverage. It's a lot slower than Doug Trio, so it's just harder to kind of like sweep with it. You know, it doesn't just click Earthquake on anything that isn't flying, you know, so it's a little harder. Another S tier, Rotom Heat. I think that Rotom Heat's a must-have. It's a great pivot Pokemon. It's only weak to water and rock because it ignores its 4 times ground immunity due to Levitate. And it can just bounce around, Volt Switch, Overheat, Nasty Plot. You can make it more defensive. Thunderbolt. So I think this is definitely a good Pokemon. Like, if you need a Fire type, and in this generation, Fire types are few and far between. So this is like one of the better Fire types you can get. You throw Heavy Duty Boots on, you'll just be switching in and out, going to town. You can get Pain Split on it to recover. Very good Pokemon. Porygon Z, I'm not actually a fan of. I think that we kind of overrated this when we were tiering. So I'm actually going to put in the no thanks. I mean, you can hit hard with Analytic and like a Life Orb or Choice Specs. I mean, it does get very good move coverage, but I think that there are way better S tier options. Speaking of way better S tier option, we got Urshifu Rapid Strike. You know, this Pokemon, as far as water and fighting goes, is one of the best. You've got Surging Strikes, which hits 3 separate times, always crits. So you're breaking subs, you're breaking sashes, you're breaking sturdies. Close combat, of course, as your fighting move of choice. It can learn Flip Turn to keep momentum or Aqua Jet for priority. And then your last move, you can go with Bulk Up as a setup. You can do Iron Head to take down like fairies that might switch into you. So there's definitely a lot of options here. I think it is weaker than the Single Strike, but I think it deserves a spot on the team. So I'll be interested to see what team picks him up. Now we're going into the A tier, so we're dropping down a tier. Appleton. This is bulky. You get Slack Off. You get Earthquake. You get like the Fang moves, Thunder Fang, Fire Fang. You can use Protect if you're doing like more of a stally, toxic, leftover sort of thing. I'm going to put it in not bad. I think there's a certain team I can think of who might want it, but then again, their A pick is pretty good, so it would be tough, right? There's not a lot of sand synergy that you're looking for here. But I think if you want a ground, pure ground is a great defensive typing. It's only weak to 3 things. And Slack Off is good recovery. Earthquake is good. So I think Appleton could fit on team. You just needs to be the right team here. I think it would be more for like a pivot Pokemon and less for synergy. Gengar, I mean, we've seen it before. Throw choice specs on this is gonna blow up stuff. Throw a Focus Sash if you're afraid of one thing outspeeding you for a turn or surviving one hit. Gengar's always been very good in Pokemon, so I think it's definitely worth a second look here. Milotek, it's kind of in the same vein as Appleton. It can be a little more offensive due to its competitive ability if you want to go that route, but that gets triggered a lot less in singles than in doubles. I'm going to put in the maybe, actually. Again, pure water, so it is really good. It gets Recover, you can do Hypnosis, Foil, Scald. So, I mean, it can do certain things. I think most teams have like a solid water type, so using your A tier on a defensive water type can be kind of tough. Celebi, I'm going to put in the no thanks. Basically doesn't have an ability with Leaf Guard, and its move pool isn't that great. You get Psychic, you get Leaf Storm. I believe it gets Earth Power, but Synthesis or something. But Blissey got a big buff with heavy duty boots this generation. So Blissey, what do we do with you? Again, this is a special defensive pivot, but Minimize really hurts it. Yeah, I think because of Minimize, I'm going to have to put you in no thanks. Like, Minimize on Chancy and Blissey is such a big part of what they do to annoy teams, because their only really attacking move is Seismic Toss, with just, 50 damage every time, so it's always like a 4 or 5 hit KO, which can be pretty tough. Yeah, so, sorry, Blissey. Kingdra in the A tier, probably the best Rain Sweeper in the current generation. Draco Meteor, Hydro Pump, Hurricane. It's in the same tier as Pelipper, though, which makes it tough. You would want Politoed for the rain, or some sort of other rain setter. Maybe a Gigantamax can set it, but there aren't a lot of Gigantamaxes that set rain, because the water ones set other things when they use their G-Max water move. So I think this is a maybe. Like, you'd have to think long and hard about bringing Kingler in here. Galarian Wheezing, I think, is good. I think it's worth a second look for sure as an A tier. You get Misty Terrain. You could do Levitate if you only want to be weak to a couple things, Psychic and Steel. So, Neutralizing Gas isn't as good in singles, but I definitely think as a defensive Pokemon, it's definitely worth a second look. Strange Steam doing Confusion. Overheat against the, Heat Wave, excuse me, against the Steel types. Sludge Bomb. You can use Taunt. You can get Toxic Spikes. Like, there's a lot you can do. I believe it learns Defog. Azumarill. I think it's not bad. You want huge power belly drum setup, so you swap it into something that can survive. I mean, if you're worried about grass types, you can do Sap Sipper, but then you're losing a lot of power from huge power. So being able to double Azumarill's attack is what makes it playable. Because then you get Play Rough and you get Aqua Jet and Liquidation. So I think it's not bad. Snorlax is also not bad. Curse set, it can absorb some hits. Thick Fat, make it even more defensive. Marowak, Alolan Marowak, if hits hard, you give it the Bone Club and it's the Thick Bone or whatever it's called. And it's gonna hit hard, but I think it's a maybe. Like, it hits so hard. Shadow Bone. Poltergeist now is a strong move that it can learn. Flare Blitz, of course. Magneton, I think, is a maybe. Again, these are all A tier, so they're all pretty good. Like, they're not really situational. They all have some power. You can have choice specs. You can do Air Balloon. You can do quite a bit. I like Hawlucha. I think Hawlucha is worth a second look. If you have, like, some sort of terrain setter, like, if you got one of the teams that have one of the Rillaboom setting, Grassy Terrain, Grassy Seed Unburden's really good. Or you can just go Power Herb and do Sky Attack. A lot of competitive teams did that. I definitely think Hawlucha is worth a second look on a lot of teams, for sure. With Unburden, it becomes very fast, very strong. Swords Dance, Acrobatics, Close Combat, like, very powerful. Rhyperior. Where do we put Rhyperior, guys? Like, it's going to absorb some hits, but it's so slow. It gets hit by one special attack and you're kind of done. I'm going to put in no thanks. I think that there's a lot better option. Same thing with Mamoswine. I'm not really a huge fan of the Mamo. I mean, it hits hard, but again, when you can only have one Pokemon from this tier, like, you got to really make choices here. And I think there are a few that definitely outclass the Mamo. I think Scoliped's situational. It's the best speed boost baton passer that we have. Better than Ninjask, which is the other one. Do basically slowly because, you know, Scolipede can actually kill something if it has to, with Poison Jab and Bug Stabs. Like, it's actually decently strong. So if that's something you're looking for, if you're looking for like a speed boost baton pass, I think that's the only time you'd want Scolipede, but it's definitely the best one for that. Primarina, I think, is pretty good. It's either in the not bad or the second look category. Moonblast, Liquid Voice with Hyper Voice. You know, Ice Beam coverage. I'm going to put in the not bad. It's two of the best typings together. It's Water and Fairy. Same thing with Azumarill. You get a little bit extra bulk, and then you're on the special attacking side. So I think it's very good. All right, Crocodile. I'm gonna put in the maybe. It gets Moxie, which is good for sweeping. Dark and Ground are pretty good offensive typings, but there's definitely like a lot more you could be doing there. All right, next up we got Tarakion. I think Tarakion's worth a second look. It's got good speed, it's got good attack. Kind of a bad typing, rock and fighting, a lot of weaknesses. But overall, I mean, if you're looking for speed and power, you can't go too wrong with Tarakion. As far as Cobalian goes, I'm not a huge fan, just because 90 base attack isn't a lot. Like, you want to get like a Swords Dance up. It is bulkier and has better typing due to its steel typing than Tarakion. but you're kind of confined to having to run a Sugar Berry. It's not as fast, so you need like some more setup and everything with it. Grimmsnarl, I think, is situational. It's the best like prankster screener that we have due to its bulk, and then it can do some offensive stuff with like Spirit Break, and you can put Sucker Punch on it for some priority. But I mean, it's mostly there for like dual screens, Thunder Wave, prankster things. Sylveon, I think, is worth a second look. Probably like the best pure fairy type that we have left for sure. Probably the best in the game, actually. I can't think of that there are other pure fairy types going on that are available. I'll scroll down a little bit here. Heracross. You get Moxie, you can do Guts. I think it's not bad. Close Combat, Mega Horn. Pretty good. Alright, we're going to have to move the tier list down. It's starting to get a lot. Persian. No, I'm not really a fan of Persian. Vaporeon, I think, is good. Water Absorb. It can do some different things. Get some nice bulk. I like it. Espeon, kind of in the same thing. Can do like Calm Mind, but Baton Pass setup. Gets Magic Bounce, so it's a good Magic Bounce user. Pure Psychic is a good typing. Only weak to 3 things, and usually gets good coverage against those things. Porygon 2. Nah, not really a fan. Good Eviolite. Decent coverage moves again. Politoed, I think, I'm going to put in the not bad. I think some team will pick this up because, again, it is the only other range setter other than Pelipper. But, yeah, I mean, that's all it does, right? It's not going to do anything else. This isn't doubles where it can Helping Hand and get some Scald Burns or anything. Exeggutor, maybe. Like, it gets Chlorophyll, but it's generally slow, so you don't want a lot. I think Galarian Slowbro, it can get Regenerator, it can get its signature ability Quick Draw. It might actually be worth a second look. Like, Psychic Poison is a good typing. I think it's worth a second look as a B tier. Again, you can use it as a defensive pivot with Regenerator, or you can have it be more offensive and test your luck with Quick Draw. Poliwrath, I'm going to put in the not bad. Swift Swim. Water Fighting, pretty good. Gets Close Combat this generation, which is huge. Poltegeist. I'm putting maybe. It can do some stuff. It learns Shell Smash, so a pure Ghost that learns Shell Smash. Very good. And Toxicroak. No thanks. Then we got... I think that this is worth a second look too. I mean, if we're talking about using Galarian Slowbro as a defensive pivot, then Regenerator, huge defense on Tangrowth. You get Sleep Powder, you get Knockoff, you get Leaf Storm. If you want to make it more of an offensive sweeper, it gets the ability Chlorophyll, so you can go either way. I think Tangrowth is definitely worth a second look for a lot of teams. Fairy's good. It's more of a support Pokemon. Like, it can do Moonblast, but I'm going to put Whimsicott in the maybe. I think Rotom is not bad. Usually you run this as like Nasty Plot, Leaf Storm, Volt Switch, and then maybe like Thunderbolt, or, you know, some support move, Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp. Pretty good. Roserade, Spikes, Toxic Spikes. I think it's a maybe if you're looking for hazards. Like, it's not bad. Pretty good offensively. Crawdad, I think, is pretty good as a B tier. Might even be worth a second look. It's like high, not bad, low, second look. Swords Dance, Aqua Jet, like, you'll start cleaving through stuff. Knockoff. Always a good ability. Flygon, I always want Flygon to be better, but it has such middling stats overall. Ground Dragon is a good offensive typing again, but like I guess you're scraping the bottom of the barrel for dragons when you get to Flygon, which is kind of the big issue. Sharpedo, I think, is also maybe. Speed Boost again. Speed Boost with Crunch and Liquidation. I think he gets Close Combat this generation. I could be wrong. Psychic Fang. Protect to get your auto speed boost, but it's not like the best, right? Mantine, I'm not a fan of. Like, if I was a rain team, I'd pick up a Mantine. Probably as, like, if I didn't have, like, a lot of other water Pokemon. For Hurricanes and everything, but overall, not too impressive. Inteleon, I think, is good. It's not bad. Very good speed tier. Sniper, you can throw a scope lens and do some stuff with that, so try and fish for some crits, but its speed tier is very good. The Simian gets Defiant. The fight, it's pure fighting type. But as a B tier, I don't think I like it. Salazzle, I kind of like. Very fast, very good special attacker. Gets the unique ability to toxic steel type, so you can wear down like defensive steel types. I think it's not bad. I can see one team picking this up pretty good. You know, other than against ground, you don't have to worry about super much. I mean, it's so frail, it's going to die to any super effective hit anyway, so the 4 times ground isn't bad. Mantis with Contrary. I don't think so. I mean, it gets Leaf Storm, right, with Contrary, but... I'll put in Situational. I can see something, like maybe throw a Choice Scarf on it just so it's fast enough to get off some Leaf Storm and kill some stuff. Decidueye, I'm not really a fan of. Grass Ghost, like there's so many of those. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong. Shadow Sneak, Spirit Shackles, again, Leaf Storm, but I guess it's better than some of these, though, for its tiering anyway, so I'll put in the maybe. I guess he's some game. Klefki I like. I think Klefki's not bad. I mean, it's a pure support Pokemon. Spikes, Thunder Wave, Dazzling Gleam, but I think it's not bad. While Witzer is situational, there's better water types, right? And you want something that you can use Terrain Pulse on. Probably. I don't know what terrain would be best for him. Because grass doesn't really help you because you're already super effective against stuff that grass is super effective against. Like, what are you trying to break through here? Water, you're weak to electric and grass, which doesn't really help you with anything. I guess psychic terrain maybe, because a lot of grass types are also poison types, which could help you, but yeah. Doublade is situational. Very high attack, so it can do some things behind the sword stance, maybe with some screens, but again as a B tier. Diggersby gets huge power, but I don't see it. I actually like Piloswine. I think it's not bad. As a Stealth Rocket with Eviolite, you get Thick Fat. Pretty good. It's also pretty strong. Overall, Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, Earthquake, Stone Edge, again, Stealth Rocks. Ludicolo, he's like on the lower end of the Swift Swimmers, so not really a fan of Ludicolo. I like Morpeko. I think Morpeko's not bad. His signature ability, Aura Wheel, being able to raise his speed and being a very strong attack, I think it's 110 base power or something, is very good. And if you put Protect on it, it's a electric type that can hit ground types with its move, because it'll go to Dark type as well. I'm going to put in DDT Mail as situational, just because you only get it if you want the Psychic terrain. Like, it doesn't have the offensive power of the male version. Ice Q situational, you want a Hail team, which we only really have one of those, but there are a lot of Hail setters this generation. I'm going to put Obstagoon in maybe. Actually, I'm going to put it in not bad. I think it's a good Pokemon. It's got this weird, like, it's where its speed is kind of awkward. Like, it's not fast and its bulk doesn't make up for how slow it is, but it gets guts, gets reckless, so it can hit hard, gets knockoff, facade for stabs, parting shot, signature ability, obstruct, which lowers your opponent's defenses, so you can do even more against that. Good Nose, I think, is a maybe. Gets Swift Swim, gets Strong Jaw, can set up rocks, pretty good. Decent coverage, Ice Fang. Flapple, I think, is a no face, a no thanks. Again, G-Max Flapple is good, but I like Slowking. I think it's not bad. The special defensive pivot, again, gets Regenerator as its hidden ability. Like, you're kind of just pivoting around with it. Pikachu, no thanks. Alolan Executor, no thanks. So now we're kind of in the trash tiers, the C tier. So we're gonna go through this pretty quick. Magneton, I think, is situational. Like, if I was going up against a team where I was like, dang, I need something to take down Corviknight, dang, I need something to take down Skarmory, then, you know, I'd pick up a Magnemite for a Magneton for a week or two. Golduck, no thanks. Rapidash, no thanks. Galarian Rapidash, no thanks. Dugtrio, it gets Sand Force, so I guess on a Sand team it wouldn't be bad. Like a Steel type on a Sand team, I'll put it as a maybe. I think if you need a Steel type for a Sand team, it can't go wrong. Vileplume's the poor man's Venusaur, and I don't really see like another Sun team popping up, so I'm gonna put it no thanks. Wigglytuff, normal Fairy. No thanks. Trying to justify something here, but Dunsparce, the goat, a must-have. But I don't want to scroll up that far, so no thanks. Marowak, pure ground, good typing. It's slow, but it can hit hard with the thick club. I'll put it as a maybe. I think it's fine. Corsola, get out of here. Hitmonchan, no. Shuckle, I think, is a maybe. You can do a lot of stuff with Shuckle. Final Gambit. You know, can set up Stealth Rocks. Shuckle's good. Or at least it's not crap as far as like all jokes go. Licky tongue, get out of here. Quagsire is situational. Like, if you really need a water absorber, I guess you could go Quagsire. But you never know, because Dracovish is always around that corner. Sea King, get off my screen. You want to talk about lazy Pokemon design. There's a koi fish with a unicorn horn. Blossom, nah. Mr. Mime, nah. Sudowoodo, nah. Pinsir's not bad. I can see Pinsir as a maybe. It's strong. He's a strong boy. Gets Moxie and everything. Lantern, I think, is situational. I mean, we talked about Water Absorb. I think this is a better Water Absorber than Quagsire. It also can learn Volt Absorb as an ability, so that's pretty good. You can kind of like swap them between your different lineups. Sand Slash, no. I know I spoke about him earlier as like a Sand Rush thing, but no. Tauros, I think, is pretty good. It gets good coverage, good speed tier, strong. I think you could look for it, like, you know, just as like your kind of catch-all Pokemon. Like as a C tier, right? Like what more are you kind of asking for? Noctowl, no thanks. Trapinch, very situational. Gets Arena Trap, which is one of the most busted abilities in the game. Super high attack stat, actually. but all the rest of its stats are pretty middling. So you usually do it like Focus Sash and try and kill like one thing, or yeah, first impression Focus Sash and like Earthquake, right? No thanks. Whale Lord, no thanks. Manectric, no thanks. In doubles, it has some stuff with Lightning Rod, but again, the redirectional attacks aren't as great. Kingler, I just don't see it. I just don't see it in this league. I'm actually going to put Lanoon as situational. Belly Drum Extreme Speed. Like, if you can get off a Belly Drum, it's huge, right? It's huge. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the greatest Lanoon. We're going to make Lanoon great again. Alright, Sheninja. I'm going to put Sheninja as maybe. Focus Sash gives you a free... Well, Heavy Duty Boots now, you can just switch into rocks all the time, but Focus Sash gives you, like, a free attack against it. Shiftry, I think, is pretty good, too. Gets Chlorophyll. Gets good coverage. Leaf Storm. Dark Pulse for stab. Heat Wave. Sucker Punch. Focus Blast. I think it's pretty good. I think it's at least worth a maybe. Milotek, I mean, I don't think it gets like the coverage that Tauros does. I'm gonna put it as no. Artillery, no. I mean, Bronzong Steel with Levitate, which gives it immunity to ground, so I'm gonna at least put in the maybe for there. Lopunny, no. I like Drifblim. Drifblim's pretty good. It's got 3 immunities. Its Ghost gives it immunity against normal and ground and fighting, and it's immune to ground due to flying. More of a defensive Pokemon. So I'll throw it in maybe. I think it'd be good. You can swap stuff in. Sankstrap. Yeah, Strength Sap. Strength Sap. Defog. You know, stuff like that. Cherum, nope. Glalie, nope. Dusclops, nope. Down. Claydol, no thanks. Wishcash, no thanks. No thanks, Solrock. No thanks, Unpheasant. No thanks, Musharna. Stoutland I don't think is horrible. Man, I hate having to scroll up on this. One second. I know I got something hiding around here that I can use. Alright guys, sorry about that. My mouse wheel wasn't working, but we got it fixed now. I'll put it in maybe. Gets Intimidate, which is fine. Rotom Fan, I think, is pretty weak. Rotom Frost, I think, is a maybe. Good attacking types. Process, I think, is a maybe. Spikes, Taunt, Destiny Bond, good like anti-lead. Delayed. I'm not seeing it. Leafeon, I'm not really seeing it. Abomasnow. I guess I'll throw in Situation because it does set hail, right? So, I mean, if you want some weather control. Sigilyph, nah. Scrafty is pretty good. I'm going to put Scrafty in the not bad. For C tier, you get Moxie and Intimidate as abilities to choose from, so, you know, you need to do some stuff to make it work. Like, you probably want to get that Moxie off, but you can probably do it with the right play. Crustle, no. Maractus, no. Basculin, no. Lilligant, no. Sock, Row, Swoobat, Stunfisk, just throw them over here. A Celebor's pretty good. I'm gonna put it in maybe. I could see someone picking up a Celeborn again. This is like Final Gambit Spikes, just like something fast. Beartick, I think, is situational. Oh, where'd you go, Beartick? Slush Rush, and it's very strong. So on a Hail team, if they wanted another ice type, I could see it. Ahiam, no. A Scavalier, I think, is pretty good. I'll put it in the maybe. Again, it's slow speed, which is hard, but Emolga, Chinchino, Garbodor, Barbarical, Capagrigus, Dedenne. Man, I'm just throwing these guys. Aromatisse, no. Meowstic. I'll put it in situational. It's kind of the same. It's like a worse Grimmsnarl. Again, it's double screens, but you're instead of taking an A tier, you're taking a C tier, so it's worth it for Prankster double screens. Psychic and Thunder Wave is usually what you run with. I think Prangoro's not bad. Dark fighting type. Heatmore, no. Bufalon, I don't even know what this does. It gets Sap Sipper. Golurk. I think Golurk's not bad. It has 3 immunities. Immune against electric, normal, and fighting, so pretty good. Drotagon, no thanks. Boltund is fast, which I think at least puts it in the maybe. Strong Jug gives it some boost. Dubwool. I think Dubwool's a maybe. It's a good defensive Pokemon. No thanks, Eldegoss. No thanks, Breeden. Meltan is just a worse Magneton, so I'll put it in the situational because Magnapole by itself is a situational ability, but I don't think it's good. Oranguru, no. Lycanroc, Midday, I think is a maybe. Like, it's a fast rock type, which is pretty good. Gourgeist, no. Copperajah. Copperajah, I think, is pretty good. Sheer Force, Life Orb, you're gonna hit some stuff. If you can get a couple hits off, you'll hit some stuff. And Pure Steel typing is very nice. It has pretty good HP and solid defenses. Stonejourner, no. Alcremie, no. I like Colossal. I'm always surprised that no one ever picks him. I mean, he does have 4 times weakness to water and ground, but I'll put him at least in the maybe. You can get Stealth Rush. You can do some Power Herb stuff with Meteor Beam, Solar Beam, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, etc. Berserker. Tough Claws. He gets Tough Claws and it's pure Steel typing, so yeah, I'll put in maybe. Cramorant, nope. Sandaconda, I think, is situational. Again, Sandspit has an ability. Graplock, no. Tangela, I think, is situational. It's like a defensive pivot regenerator again. And that's actually all of them, because then this is all Pokemon that were already picked. So, one last look. I mean, these are the 4 Pokemon that I'm surprised haven't been picked. We actually know, because I'm recording this on Tuesday, that Urshifu's now off the board. What else was picked? Anything else up here? Tarakion was picked, so that's gone. Down in the not bads. Slowking's gone now. Salazzle's gone now. Yeah, so stuff is starting to get swapped around now. But thanks for watching, Society. These are all the free agents going into week 3, so let me know what you think of the rankings. Let me know if you think I overrated something, if I underrated Dunsparce. Let me know if you had a team, which of these Pokemon would you be looking to add to it? Are any of them your favorites? And look forward to more Tier List Tuesday videos every week. Give me some ideas for tier list you would like. We can have it be something society-based like this. We can have it be something fun. Try to keep a Pokemon, but I don't mind doing something a little different if people want. Tomorrow we got our first theme, Scream or Meme. So look forward to that. And yeah, we're just going to keep giving you guys awesome content. From Ryan, head coach, Boston Braviaries, Commissioner of 5S Sword and Shielbert Spectacular Skirmish Society. Stay classy, society.